Scholarships are available year-round. Most of them, of course, try to align with the college application season, but others are available year-round. So my recommendation is that students kind of look into this and get a spreadsheet or a list and keep the scholarships that they're interested in, keep a list of those along with their deadlines. That's just an easy way to stay organized. But yeah, students can look for scholarships year round. I think when I was a student, I used to think that scholarships were solely based on grades. If you're not a straight A student, then there's no need to really apply. But that's wrong. There are a lot of scholarships out there that are based on several other things. Certainly academic merit scholarships are based on GPA. So it's important to have a really strong GPA when you apply to those. But there are a host of other scholarships. Many are based on financial need that may not even consider grades. And certainly most people are familiar with athletic scholarships. There are also scholarships based for specific college majors. For example, a finance major may qualify for a scholarship that's just for financial majors, so that really narrows the pool. Civic and community organizations often have scholarship support available for students in their community. Employers sometimes will make scholarships available for the students of their employees. Some scholarships are available just to first generation students or students of a certain heritage. Certainly there are military scholarships available. So the bottom line is that time spent researching scholarships, that's time well spent. My recommendation is that students start with their high school advisor. If they're in a traditional school or an online school where they have an advisor like that, definitely the school advisor will have a very good list of scholarships. And this might include small, local, maybe civic or community scholarships that won't show up in a larger online database. So first step, I would say, is to work with the high school counselor or advising office there to identify the scholarships that are available in that community. Next, of course, there's all kinds of information on scholarships available from colleges and universities. So I encourage the student to be sure to look through the scholarship information on the website of the college or university that they seek to attend. Certainly an online search is a good way to do that as well. I mean, just Google scholarships and you'll be overwhelmed with the results that you get. Yeah, there are links there. FAFSA itself deals with financial aid ability, but one thing I want students to understand is I used to chair my office used to run the scholarship program for our college. And we often many of the scholarships required a FAFSA to have been filled out to make the student eligible. Even if the student didn't get much financial aid, still it was important to have that information so we could render decisions on need-based scholarships in our college. So FAFSA itself doesn't give scholarships, but if you look on that website, there are a lot of good links that explain scholarships in different amounts of or different opportunities for school funding. And certainly you want to consider filling out a FAFSA. There's a lot of good reasons to do that. It may open some doors that otherwise wouldn't be open to you. Scholarship applications are similar to college applications or any other application as far as that goes. It's very, very important to follow the guidelines and fill everything out. And I also strongly encourage students to be sure that they meet the criteria. I know sometimes we kind of have the attitude, well, the more I apply for, the more likely I am to get a scholarship. And on the one hand, that's true, but on the other hand, it isn't. That's only true if you're applying for scholarships that you meet the criteria of. For example, I mentioned that my office used to administer college level scholarships, and I saw many students apply for scholarships that they didn't meet the criteria for. And it could be simple things. One of them may say requires a GPA of 3.25 and the student has a 3.1. That's an easy thing to find and to avoid applying to those. But also standing, these are for juniors and seniors, and maybe a sophomore would apply. Or major, or even home county. I've seen some scholarships that are specifically for students from a particular county in a state. So if you're not from that county, there's no need there's no need to apply. It wastes your time and it wastes the committee's time as well. And if you apply for a lot of those and continually get rejected, that can take a toll on your attitude there. So it's very important to be sure you meet the criteria. The other thing that I think is so very important is to write specifically to the application. Different scholarships have different requirements. They weight things differently. They're looking for different things in applicants. So it's so important to understand what that scholarship application is really asking for, and then to respond to that. What I recommend is creating a very simple rubric where you list criteria of the scholarship. It may have, it's for finance majors with a high school GPA of 3.2 and who will be attending an in-state college or something along those lines. And also, the successful candidates will demonstrate leadership and service activities. So what I would do is just write those criteria out. It's finance major, here's the GPA requirements, and in-state and leadership and service, and kind of build a column there. And then right next to it, I encourage that student to get out their resume and pull stuff out of their resume that matches the criteria. And by doing that, there's several benefits to that. One, it helps the student tailor their letter, their application package to the scholarship criteria, and that's very, very important. Second of all, it gives a great outline, so it's a great way to get started. I know a lot of times we sit down to write out an application and we think, gee, I don't know where to start. But if you can put the criteria in one column and put your experiences tailored to that in the next column, then it'd be very easy to get started writing on that. Plus, you really increase your likelihood of success because, again, you're specifically addressing what the scholarship committee is looking for. I think you have to be careful here, and I'll explain that in a minute. But for no essay scholarships, sometimes they'll require something else. It may be a video, it may be a portfolio with evidence of work completed, or art material or something along those lines. So again, follow the criteria. Just because there's no essay doesn't mean you don't have to provide some evidence of your qualifications. But having said that, sometimes, according to my friend Jocelyn, she's the founder of the scholarship system. She says that sometimes these no essay scholarships are basically sweepstakes. Enter your email address here to be put into a pool where you might win a scholarship. Well, chances are fairly low for getting a scholarship like that. I mean, if a student wants to do that, go right ahead. But I strongly encourage, especially for the no essay or kind of the sweepstakes scholarships, I really encourage families to read the privacy statements and know what they're agreeing to, because by opting in, putting your application or your name in for a no essay scholarship, not all of them certainly, but some of them may get your name on a mailing list that you may or may not want to be on. So anyway, the bottom line, it's not my decision, it's the parents and the students' decision. But the point is, if you see a scholarship that looks like all you have to do is scholarship application, where all you got to do is put your name in and we'll let you know when you win, kind of a thing, then I would approach that with a little skepticism, and I would definitely understand what they're going to do with the information that I provide to them.